Hello and welcome back to another video. I hope you enjoyed the last video I did about my biggest sales of the year in 2023. If you haven't watched that, there will be the link to the actual video at the end of this video and one of the end screens. But today's video is about how much money have I made on Vinted this year in 2023. As you know, I'm a UK reseller, which I sell mostly on eBay, but I do sell a lot on Vinted. And the reason being is Vinted has no fees. It's very easy to sort out packaging. You don't have to pay for the packaging. All you have to do is post it and then send it off, and there it's done. But the one thing I have heard from a lot of resellers is that Vinted is not a very good place to sell on. But I'm going to tell you why I think it is. And also I'm going to tell you my profit over the year. Vinted was my first source of income. When I first started in January, Vinted, it was the first actual site I went on. I saw it advertised and I thought, no fees. Yes, I want to obviously sell some of my things. I was selling things on there before and I thought, well, it's very easy to use. The comeback on it, if you lose something or something gets damaged, you both get refunds. So the buyer and the seller both get their money back, and it just seems a very safe place to buy and sell. And yeah, so I've been using it all this year and I've been making a lot of money through the year on Vinted. So what I've been doing is, you know me with my pieces of paper, I've got a big book where I write down all the things I buy throughout the year, and then when something sells I mark it off, tell you where it's from, and how much I sold it for, and then how much profit. So today I've been looking through my book all through the months and been marking down all the actual sales from each month. I'm not going to go through each month like last time because it's not really as important, because I'll be here all day if I was going to go through every single sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my highlights of Vinted sales, which are my biggest sales. There isn't that many. A lot of my sales on Vinted are pretty, I would say, between the £5 and £25 mark. That is the average range. I do get a lot around the £20 mark. Some like little toys, plush toys, I do sell for like £5-6. But then I do sell like footwear, which is some big profits. So at the start, mainly I was selling on Vinted just because I wanted pure profit, and I wasn't selling stuff that was really, I would say, desirable. I didn't think it would be good enough for eBay. I didn't really know much about eBay. I had an eBay account, but I didn't really use it. So after a while, obviously I started going on eBay, but I still put everything I could on Vinted. So I had two platforms to sell stuff. And throughout the year, it's gave me pretty good, like, extra money. I mean, it's very easy to use. I used to put stuff on. I used to always put it on eBay first, but then I would put it on Vinted after. And I knew that I could lower the price down a little bit because obviously no fees. So I would roughly get the same amount on Vinted as I would on eBay, whatever I sold it on. So I'm not going to make this a long video because my last video was very long, but this video, I'm just going to tell you a few of the highlights, sales, which I've actually sold on Vinted. If you're thinking about reselling and you don't want to have all the hassle of eBay and fees, Vinted is a very good way for part-timers, people who want a bit of extra cash. And I will tell you how much profit I've made at the end of the video, and you'll be like, yeah, I don't mind having that much money, you know, for doing it part-time. So throughout the year, I seem to have some very good sales. Like I said, most of them are 30 quid and below, but some sales were very good. One of the sales was some Birkenstock trainers, and I sold them for £52 in profit. These are from my Magic charity shop around the corner from my son's school. So yeah, they were just there for £2 and I just made a massive profit. I think no, £3, sorry. There was £3. I sold them for £55. So yeah, and yeah, made a £52 profit. Birkenstock trainers, never seen them before, but if you do see them, they're very plain looking and they don't look nothing special, but trust me, They're very, very desirable. Another good sale which made me £50 in profit was that Aviator jacket. You might have seen it in one of my older videos. It was a very rare leather aviator jacket with a fluffy, collar with badges on. I think it was made in Russia. I think I had it on eBay for about £80 to start off with. I paid £20 for this jacket because it's it was really good quality. On eBay, yeah, on eBay I didn't really have much attraction on it, but on Vinted a lot of people was liking it and favoring it. Some person offered me, I think it was £70 for it, so I said, yeah, you can have it. So obviously I made a £50 profit off it. And last three real big sales were all footwear. One, I sold a pair of Adidas F50 football boots. I think there was a size 5. I looked at them. I knew some football boots are worth a lot of money, but trying to find out if they're expensive or not, it's a minefield. There is so many different football boots. So I took a picture in the shop. It was a little old charity shop where they don't even have card machines and everything. They sell every trainers for like £2.50, and they came out as people trying to sell them for £110. They didn't have no insoles in them, which doesn't really make much difference because somebody can put some insoles in them. And I sold them. Yeah, I can't actually remember what I had them on Vinted now, but I did make a £77.50 profit off £2.50. So absolutely smashing profit in that. The other two you've probably seen on recent videos if you've been watching are my two hiking boots, the Mendel hiking boots and the Solomon hiking boots, which I sold recently. One, I made £115 profit, and the Solomon ones I sold for £100, making a £93 profit because they cost me £7. And also at the bottom of this page, what I was saying is that Pierre Cardin cashmere coat, which is like a camel collar. I paid £7 for that, and I made £73 profit because I sold it for £80. So when it comes to Vinted, a lot of people say, a lot of resellers, I do see it saying, oh, Vinted's not very good, you can't make much money on Vinted. A lot of people I know sort of like buy from Vinted and then sell on eBay. But I have seen over this year that Vinted, if you have some good stuff, quality stuff, it does sell. If you have that price, just don't budge, because people will try and offer like stupid prices. Like, for instance, the hiking boots, somebody offered me like £30 for them, and I was like, no chance. I know how much they are. They're like £250 pair of hiking boots, so you know how much they are. It just takes one serious buyer who's a serious hiker, knowing how much these cost, and they will buy them. So when you come to selling on Vinted, just make sure you buy quality. You can also buy stuff. I would say if you're quite new to reselling, it's just going around your house and selling stuff that you don't use. Like, obviously, if you've got kids, maybe getting rid of some of their old toys. I've sold lots of Lego on there. I've sold cutlery and like stuff for the home. You can't sell everything on Vinted. That's the only problem. That's why still eBay is the biggest, obviously best place to sell stuff. But if you're looking for quick cash, quick, easy, no hassle, no fees, Vinted is by far the best place to go. I've also heard over the last few months that in France they're sort of like trying out what it's like for professional sellers, like myself, and having a proper site for them, so they don't have to sell on it, because apparently you're not allowed to sell on Vinted if you do this as a job. But I know for a fact there is many people on there that are not just normal people. Some of the stuff I see, and it's all like I've got pages and pages. So they're not going to do anything about it. I think what they do not like is if you're buying off Vinted and then selling it back on Vinted, because it's like it's a bit dishonest to the people who sold the thing on there in the first place. But like I said, Vinted is definitely a place to go for. But this year I have made £3,111.21 in profit. That is the amount of money I've made off Vinted this year. So making over £3,000 in a year on Vinted is a good amount of money. I'm not saying you can retire off that. I'm not saying quit your full-time job to have a living just selling on Vinted. Vinted is very, I would say, niche. Like I say, you only can sell certain things like clothing, toys, gaming stuff, music stuff. You can't sell like your big bulky items. So you're not gonna, if you're into certain things, you might not be able to sell them. But it's well worth putting stuff on that you can sell, even if you've got stuff on eBay and you're just constantly putting stuff on eBay and you don't bother with Vinted. I would suggest putting some other stuff that you can put on Vinted, because you're going to sell it on Vinted as well. And it's just really nice when you sell something on Vinted, because you know what you sell it for. You don't have to work out the post and packaging. You don't have to work out the fees. You know what you sell it as, you're gonna get the money for. And it's just a really easy platform. I really do like Vinted. I think it's probably the best site I've been on. I think it's miles better than eBay. eBay just drives more sales towards you because obviously it's worldwide, as Vinted is just UK based at the moment. So yeah, that is how much money I made. Obviously, if you didn't see my video a couple of days ago, go and check it up there now, because it's a very good video if you want to see my biggest sales of the year. But also, if you haven't seen this video up here, this is how much money I've made in my first year as a reseller. So this is all the Vinted, all my eBay sales, private sales, and how much I've actually made in profit as an eBay Vinted UK reseller. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.